Hey, what's going on, guys? I am Crypto Control. I don't know if you guys ever watched my math videos or my updates about Safemoon and the blockchain and Operation Phoenix and these interviews. And, I was trying to help you guys make money, but Safemoon just ended up being, a big loss for all of you guys. However, a lot of you guys followed me into Evergrow, and all of you guys that watched my video that got over 20,000 views and followed me into Evergrow were able to make a lot of money. And so there's kind of this weird positive that happened with Safemoon through because I became a YouTuber for it and because I covered Evergrow. A lot of you guys watched my videos and you followed me into that, and it led to you guys making profit instead of being at a loss with Safemoon. And basically right now I think I've created another project that I feel confident telling you guys about because it's my own project. These ideas are insane. They're so much better for you than everything that Safemoon was. And so here's another opportunity for you guys to decide, do you want to get in or not? A lot of people decided not to get in with Evergrow and they could have made a lot of money. And so just look at the project, understand it, and decide for yourself, because this could be a massive opportunity. We're less than 2 weeks old, and we're sitting at a steady 3 to 4x with upward momentum, and we have a lot of kind of exciting big things coming in the background. How many charts have you guys seen that sit at these levels for this long without just insta pumping and dumping? Crazy part about this is a lot of the red on the charts is actually the contract selling. So at Control Token, basically the concept is the contract has a buy tax and a sell tax, and all that value is being preserved in a stablecoin and then stored up in the future. So the contract is constantly fueling the future of the project. If you look back at Safemoon, it was the whales at the top, and Reflections, just they were getting the most of that value. The rewards or reflections that everybody else was getting were being devalued when those whales would take profits. And so that's a problem. Whale dominance is a problem, and Reflections made them even stronger. And so you need to pull value away from people that are leaving the project, and you need to use that value to incentivize and reward the growth of the project over a long period of time. And that's what we've done at Control Token. This is our staking site, and so we have almost 500 million Control stake. There's only a 1 billion supply, and this is like 60 to 70% of the supply that's out there is in the staking contract. So everybody's committed to the 12-month, the 6-month, the 1 month. And what that means is they're committed to basically staking their tokens so that if we start to get a lot of momentum, these tokens, most of the supply is committed to allowing that momentum to grow and to flourish. Whereas with a typical project, they're only rewarded for selling. And so I don't know if you've been in crypto very long, but to get a situation where you have most of the supply committed to staking and they're committed to allowing the project to grow over a long period of time, where almost every other crypto is a pump and a dump. Do you guys remember the numbers for Safemoon? If you got 1 billion tokens and we got 1 billion in volume, you get $50. Well, if you had 1 million tokens in Control Token and we got 1 billion in volume, you'd get $300,000. With Safemoon, you'd get $50 if we hit 1 billion in volume, and that value could go down. If whales sold, they could devalue the $50 you're getting down to a couple bucks, and that is what was happening. But with Control Token, because the contract is selling, it's selling it into a stable coin, and so it's preserving the value, which means the value cannot go down and that your rewards are being preserved. And so everybody who has 100,000 tokens, if we hit 1 billion in volume, will be $30,000 worth of stablecoin for everybody who has 100,000 tokens with 1 billion in volume. The reason that most of the supply is in the staking contract is because the rewards are absolutely mind-blowing if we even get not even insane volume. If we only see 100 million in volume, everybody who has 1 million tokens will have 30 grand worth of rewards spread out throughout the year, but the total amount comes out to $30,000 worth of stablecoin. If we hit 500 million, then obviously it would be around $150,000 worth of stablecoin in rewards for you, with only 500 million. You guys remember Safemoon hitting billions, Evergrow hit hundreds of millions. And so these numbers are crazy, and the fact that this value can't go down. So buys increase your rewards and sells increase your rewards. Your rewards can't be devalued by the whales. That's what Control Token is about. It's about pulling value away from the people who destroy the project and giving value to the people who keep the project alive. So 100,000 tokens is worth around $400 right now. And if we ever hit 1 billion in volume with 100,000 tokens, then that would be around $30,000 in stablecoin rewards. Remember that billion in volume, $50, and it cost almost 3 grand to get that billion tokens? Well, we've got $400, a billion in volume equals $30,000. Now, why would we expect to see volume with a project like this with a high tax? The reason the chart looks like this is because the community is committed to staking. If you're in the staking pool, you're locking up your tokens. Now, you can unstake for an unstaking fee of 30% if you want to unstake early, but everybody's committing to a month, 6 months, and 12 months. And we have most our community committed to basically giving this project the room to grow. You know, if you look at why projects fail, it's because of sell pressure, right? The team giving themselves tokens, the team rugging, bad actors, giving away other tokens to other people. And then it comes down to who really controls a project. Well, it's the whales. The whales in a typical project are rewarded for destroying the project by selling it. And they're punished for holding. If you didn't sell in Safemoon, you lost money. If a structure like this had been in place, you would have been heavily rewarded because Safemoon was giving out the token, which could be devalued to everybody, and it was going out instantly. Whereas Control Token is only giving the rewards to the people that are staking. Anybody who's not staking is not getting their rewards, and they're forfeiting them to everybody who's staking. And then we do something which is kind of the key to why Control Token might be a massive success, is that we delay those rewards. By delaying rewards, you're taking them from everybody who leaves the project. All these whales and like Safemoon and these other projects, they don't get their rewards, and then they have to pay basically 1/5 of what it is that they're selling into those rewards as well. So we're storing up a ton of permanent value in the future, and that value puts a natural demand on the price. So if we saw 100 million in volume, if $30,000 of stablecoin is the rewards attached to 1 million tokens, which is what this chart is, then that means that if the cost of 1 million tokens is ever around 30 grand, have a free entry point into those rewards, right? If the cost of 1 million tokens was 60 grand, then you'd be able to cover half your rewards, right? If the cost of 1 million tokens was 120 grand, then a quarter of what you're putting in would cover your rewards. And that doesn't just apply for large amounts, that applies for small amounts as well. Whether you're putting in 100 grand or whether you're putting in 100, if you put in $100, you'd be getting $25 in rewards at that point. And what kind of sentiment or floor is that going to create on the demand of the token? So what this does is this creates real value, where if a typical project, when other people sell, there's no value left for you, and you're left with a dead project that has no future. Where we're constantly building value in the future that allows for this project to not just move forward, but to move forward in an upward trajectory. But you also have, if you round trip your bag, you have these permanent guaranteed rewards. If we go to 100 million and your bag goes to hundreds of thousands, but then it goes back down to a couple grand, you've still got your 30 grand in rewards. And you have between now and when the 12-month reward event happens to get all those rewards. And after you get these rewards, you can sell your bag. It's not one or the other. You can choose whether you want to sell or whether you want to go for another year again. So these rewards protect against sell-offs because it creates a floor. If we ever hit 100 million in volume, which is not that crazy, then 1 million tokens will probably not be anywhere near the price of 30 grand because there'll be about 30 grand worth of rewards attached to it, stablecoin rewards that can't be devalued. Right now, the price of 1 million tokens is like $4,500, right? And so to have a floor where the price can't go down, it'll probably be much higher, right? If you could get a quarter of your bag back, a tenth of your bag back, people will probably be doing that until you're getting a very small portion of your bag back. That creates a massive floor as we get volume. That's a massive protection against sell-offs for you, and it's a protection for all the people who don't take profits at the all-time highs. When it goes down, there's a lot of value left for everybody who's left in the project. In worst case scenario, in best case scenario, the value that's left in the future incentivizes and rewards the growth of the project to continue to grow. With Control Token, everyone knows that volume is fueling the future of the project, and that's just a crazy concept. Typically you have pump, dump, that's it, right? But we're constantly fueling value into the future that puts a natural demand on the price, right? It raises it, because if you can buy and get rewards that are better than your buy-in, you're gonna do that. If you can buy and get rewards that cover half your buy-in, you're probably going to do that. And it doesn't take much. Like I said, if we hit 10 million in volume, then the cost of a million tokens will not be able to go below around 3 grand. That's crazy. With only 10 million in volume, the floor of 3 grand, that's crazy. Projects usually blow up within a very small amount of time. A couple months is when they get most of their stuff. If we get crazy volume, it's going to fuel and secure a future for us that incentivizes volume throughout the rest of the year. That's where volume is going to come from, is a community committing to the goals, which most of our community is, which allows the project to grow. The project grows, it has the potential to reach heights that it normally couldn't, and those heights involve large amounts of volume, and those large amounts of volume are constantly fueling a future rewards that cannot go down. And with that, you have the situation where volume will continue to happen for one of the highest reward tax projects out there throughout the course of a year, when most of the volume for projects usually only happens within the span of a couple months. So yeah, if we hit $1 billion in volume for everybody who has 1 million tokens staked, that's $300,000 for every single person who has 1 million tokens staked. That's crazy, guys. That's crazy. I don't know what to tell you. That's freaking crazy. This is what I've created. This is that amazing idea that I had that I didn't release, when I was covering Safemoon, because everybody said that I was a scammer and that I was trying to FUD to get investors. I actually have a genuine good idea that's going to help and benefit more people than just the people who sell at the top. We're taking value from the people leaving the project, and we're shifting a ton of value into the future to create exciting reward events that are real. Most reward events for crypto projects, it's an exchange listing, it's Operation Phoenix, it's the birthday, it's the blockchain, and you hope that people buy because of those events, and you hope that because of that, the price goes up enough that maybe you can take profits. We're storing up real value for everybody in the staking pool. It's preserved by a stable coin, and it's super important that you understand this, that the people are seeking value. The value in that liquidity pool is hype, belief, sentiment. It's what people care about. And so by using a tax, we're preserving the value, the sentiment, the belief in the project. And by delaying it, we're preserving the life of the project over a long period of time. I hope you guys understand that, how simple that is and how genius it is to do something like that. Most projects are trying to convince you of utility, and utility is just a more convincing idea. The power that comes from a project growing, there's way more growth in that than there is in producing profit from a utility. And so we're focusing on where the power is actually at, and we're using a tax to pull value instead of that value going towards a liquidity pool that works like a pyramid scheme that only benefits the sellers at the top and causes everybody else to be exit liquidity with a dead project. We're taking value and we're constantly shifting it into the future. 13% of all buys, 18% of all sells over the course of an entire year. Everybody leaving, instead of giving your rewards into the other projects and selling, you're forfeiting rewards, and your sell is going into those rewards as well. So we're constantly fueling a future for the project. It's long term, and the rewards can be absolutely insane. If we ever hit 500 million in volume, everybody who has 1 million tokens, which is the cost of like $4,500 right now, will have 150 grand, around 150 grand in stable coin at the end of the year. When you get all your rewards, it'll add up to around $150,000. And we're not just rewarding you in a stable coin, we're rewarding you in an appreciating stable coin. So with 350 million in volume, you'd have $100,000 in rewards. And if you had that, then if the stablecoin appreciates from $1 to $1.50, your rewards that this is like rewards that can't go down. They can't be devalued by other people selling. Other people selling increases it. But your rewards, if the stablecoin appreciates from $1 to $1.50, would be 150,000 instead of 100,000. And so this project is, I'm not trying to FUD Safemoon for the sake of getting your guys' attention. I'm trying to let you know I have another, what could be an amazing opportunity, and I just want you to look at it and decide for yourselves. I think it's absolutely impossible, if you looked at Safemoon and thought that was amazing, to look at this and think it's not very good. Safemoon, your reflections were being devalued by the whales, and the whales were a massive problem. No matter how much momentum we got, the whales were constantly just using you guys as exit liquidity. And we have a project that isn't designed as a rug, that isn't being rugged. It's designed for the community. I didn't get any tokens. I had to buy just like everybody else. And we have a treasury that goes towards fueling and paying for the project. So if we get volume, we have something that's being built. If we hit 100 million in volume, that's 2 million to the treasury, and we have that to spend on utilities, on blockchain on whatever we want to build. Don't do control token if you don't like it, but look at it and understand it. Watch my videos and decide for yourself, because this could be a massive project, and taking a little bit of time to look at it. If you guys trusted me, if you trusted my math videos, if you saw the character that I displayed over the course of the time with Safemoon, I took a lot of flack for the sake of the truth. Look at this one, understand it, and decide for yourself. We're not even 2 weeks in and we have some exciting things coming. If we get momentum, we have most of the supply committed to not selling, which is allowing that momentum to really take off. And what happens when momentum is allowed to take off? Exciting things can really happen. You go to controltoken.net. It's very easy to buy. It's pancake swap. You just need the contract address, which is at the top right of the website, controltoken.net. You would paste that address into pancake swap, use BNB Smart Chain, and you just have to set your slippage to 15 to 20%. You can just raise it until it goes through, and you guys can enter the staking pools. And there's also some other crazy things that I haven't told you about: the whale pool rewards, the unstaking fees, how all of this is going towards the future of the project. So it's long term, it's preserved value. It's preserved value for people. When you buy into Control Token, you're buying into a share of preserved value that can only go up for a year. Control Token is the best rewards project ever created.